Today on Growing Idaho, the Gem State is setting the pace for the entire country and how much more people are spending. Overall, it's actually a real good indicator for the economy in the Gem State, but of course, there is still one major problem. Idahoans are spending more on stuff every year, according to a recent report from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. But it's not just more, it's a lot more. Personal consumption expenditures, or PCE, measures everything we buy, and that rose 11.8% from 2021 to 2022 in Idaho. That was the biggest spike in the entire country. Overall, Idahoans' annual spending still relatively low compared to other states at more than $43,000 a year, but again, it is on the rise. But is our spending going up just because we have to spend more, since everything costs more? Stephen Peterson, Associate Clinical Professor of Economics at the University of Idaho, says that is part of it, but he says it's more a case of the state's economy growing at one of the nation's fastest rates, and Idahoans are able to spend more.
Most of this is very good news. We have a rapidly growing population. Our economy is doing very well. It's diversifying. We have low unemployment, right? I don't think inflation is any worse here than elsewhere.
Notice he said most of this is very good news. That's because there's one cost that has gone up way too much, hurting families and keeping the economy from doing even better.
If we didn't have the housing challenges that we do, this would be fantastic news.
Of course, housing is the problem. Now, according to Redfin, the cost of homes in Idaho are actually plateauing. An apartment list says rent is dropping a little. Peterson says those trends should help, but right now they're not helping enough. In the long run, housing costs are still way up. He says only a fraction of families can afford median-priced homes, and that is holding back Idaho's economic growth, since people are not coming here or staying here to fill enough Idaho job openings.
Frankly, those unfilled positions are costing Idaho jobs. If your employees cannot find or afford rent and housing on your wage, they're not going to take your job.
And that economic stagnation can mean Idahoans having to leave the state.
The problem is that if your housing prices are where they are, your children will not be able to afford to live here, because it's often the newcomers coming into a community that can outbid the locals. So I tend to focus on what can we do to try to increase the stock of housing.
Peterson said new zoning codes can actually do a lot to increase that housing stock that he just talked about, which we just saw a new zoning code pass in Boise. We'll see if he's right. It won't have immediate impact, but that zoning code does go into effect next month.